sometimes. I know he knows that sometimes he pisses you off, but he's getting off your nice when he says certain things. You know what I mean? I know you might give him a blight, but sometimes he says things. I say you better be careful there. Don't push it too much. You know what I mean? Do you know what I'm saying?
Get bored over there, innit? I've enjoyed the big man crew, innit? Personally. I love that nut as well. It's like, he come back.
Say that again?
I got nothing against him personally, just like anyone who still believes that germ theory is real. Just in this position, he should know better, and it should be a lot easier for him to think.
Mate, this is going to go by the end of the day, boys.
It's broke already again.
Yeah,
you're too big, aren't you?
Yeah, I know, I'm too fat. That's the problem. Too fat for a fucking 8-foot chair.
If you want to make
oh, thank you, Aaron. It's very kind of you to say.
Basically what I mean fat is, muscly fat.
Or just say you got a Beyonce.
It's a voluptuous bit of rum.
Say you got a Beyonce figure.
Alright, boys, fucking hell. Who's smoking the loud? Is that you?
A bit more dough.
Puppy
yes, alright, I'll have to spend some more dough. Yeah, I get that. It's fucking Jews.
Wait, what am I doing?
Yeah, but yeah, there's two fat Jews that are broken the chairs. Me being one of them. Who?
He's the top one. What did he call him?
His muff.
Jewish representative.
They turn that into like a festival concert day. That's what it is.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say.
Making money from basically.
That's what I was trying to say.
Entertainment.
Well, they've hired that PA system. That's cost them a few bob. To hire that PA system alone.
I don't know why people ain't singing from the rooftops about the lies the government's told and the vaccine damage just fucking rolled out.
I don't know what's going on here, mate. That's not. It's not showing up on your computer.
I've got it.
You've got it, yeah?
It's up, yeah.
Alright.
Literally the same time as Ico just went live. It's popped up at the same time.
Let's come up in here. Oh, so Georgie, that's alright, that herb, isn't it?
Oh, that's nice.
Ain't bad. What's the signal like though? Should have put it into fucking 720. What happened to you, Patrick? Little nose. We need... Where's Paul, mate? Should I ring him?
Yes.
See, where are you? I should have told him what was coming up today. He gets victims, bud. No problem. You know what I mean?
I'm surprised they ain't here, to be honest.
What?
I'm surprised they ain't here.
Who's that?
Paul.
Oh. Oh yeah, him. Maybe he's over there somewhere. It's fucking, should like Wembley Stadium, flipping ticket gate, isn't it?
Interesting talk with Danny Shine though. Little clip it. Told him that he used to be an inspiration to so many people. That must. Yeah, he did though.
He's still a bit now though, isn't he?
Ah, for people that are fucking. Well, not awake. He's an entertainer, nah?
Yeah, exactly.
He was the bollocks, mate, back in the day.
And what you say now then? What's it about him now that he ain't?
He's anti-human. That's why I finished him up. I said, don't you love your kids?
But you can see where...
That's what it's all about.
Wait a minute, hold a minute. You can see what he's trying to say though. He's trying to say the mess that it seems the world is in. Bringing people in now almost seems sadistic that we're bringing people into this mess that we're in.
I hear what you're saying. So we should just give up?
No, I'm not saying that.
Well, what are you going to do if you ain't going to give up? You're going to go out there and have loads of babies, isn't you?
I think he's doing a bit of tongue-in-cheek as well though.
Always!
Always, yeah.
Always! He's flat out and all that. He loves it.
Because people are ignoring it, they're still going ahead and shagging and having kids, aren't they, regardless of what you're saying. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but a lot of that's funded. It's mental.
People are
Who's this YouTuber?
They just chase the book all the time, even though they got you.
What do you mean, who's this YouTuber filming dickhead? How am I supposed to know what care?
There is a culture happening. I've noticed that. Literally, you're seeing people.
But men are programmed to go around chasing women and having kids with them, and men are programmed that way.
From Father Lord up above, mate. That's what it's about.
Men to chase women.
Well, it's just it's just about having babies, mate. Go forth and multiply, bro.
Make 8 billion become 25 billion.
Oh, shut up, you Malthusian cunt. No. No, but it ain't. Do you know, all that stuff has been done. That's, all that shit's been done by design.
Yeah.
Like, all this population growth, this ain't in Western countries. These are in countries where people can't afford to bring up kids and the rest of it. There's a reason for that. This is
for condoms now, I noticed. The transport network, I'm not gonna lie. It's like they're trying to flipping edge it in the way down.
Alright, fella.
How's it hanging?
Oh mate, I don't want to get out of this chair and greet you. No, because the only reason I'm going to break it is facts. How you doing?
Oh, you.
Sweet.
What do you know?
Well, just same old shit really. We're all fucked unless we're going to rise up and do something.
We was on Thursday, we was at the fucking dog killer's place.
Did you go there?
Yeah, it's good.
What, I thought that was going to be full of lefties.
There was a lot of lefties there, there was a lot of everyone there.
Yeah, how many people?
300 plus.
Yeah?
There was a lot of old bills.
It's outside the New Scotland Yard though, isn't it?
Yeah, and then a lot of people with dogs. It was good. ALF were there, and the Liberation Front.
Right.
They had a van parked further up the road.
I know I've got another couple of weeks. It's always a
buckets of
June-ish for me.
paint, red paint.
So I've become a
I always pop my mouth when I see
Organisational thing going on.
Yeah, I bet.
Organisational thing. Anyway, so to cut long story short, it was good. I'm pleased me and Jill went. There was a lot of people there who said,
no, but it's just there for the manners.
Even I still do it now.
Yes, Minty. I like it, he's good stuff.
You guys see now?
Yeah.
You know them both very well. You know them
Well, yeah.
You don't
But he
realise
said,
it.
because he said,
Maybe not catching up.
He's in Jim, me and there, and he goes, he's in Bristol at the moment.
Oh, is he?
Imagine now if I split you go to the country and knock me out. But it's a way of speaking on you, but in a more finer form.
Anyway, he said he didn't come on Saturday.
It's a long way from Bristol though, isn't it?
We went to
So
the
it's a
Saturday
finer
thing,
way of speaking
manners.
you know, with, what's her name, at Trafalgar.
Yeah, but
He's the man, mate.
I'm not doing it no more.
You got an interview?
I had a bit of a row with her, because she called me.
She's no good, mate.
I
She's
said
no
to her,
good.
I was chatting, and I was talking to that Bridgen who, whether you like
Hello,
it or not.
sir.
What's this? Whose is that?
Do you want to read it?
I don't need to. It's prophesied. Muslims, we believe that. No, I'd rather if you didn't.
Right.
Too late.
What are you?
Jim. They've got to give disclosure.
Could you turn it off? Do you mind? We just believe chaos is coming.
Yeah.
Because if you study the people behind it, they believe in controlling the soul of chaos. And they're working with very, very dark witchcraft.
Oh, 100%.
You don't even want to talk about it or record it. They'll come after you. I'm telling you. They could put that stuff on you, find out. No problem.
You know, they're down here, they're among us. They're down here. Agents don't want us speaking the truth.
So what should we do
rabbis.
then? So what should we do then?
They're rabbis, yeah.
Can't see that.
He's had his opinion. He's had his opinion.
Get us shut down.
Well, it's his opinion.
You've got no power over the Muslim. Nothing. Nothing, man, I'm telling you, nothing. But unfortunately, it is reality, isn't it? Something's happening, isn't it?
Oh yes.
It's obvious. It is
The age of Aquarius, mate.
But we have hypocrites who rule over the Muslims, and that's going to go away eventually. So when we come back, this will all be gone.
What do you think about this, madam?
Yeah,
I don't want to be killed if you don't mind, sir.
All right, you're not.
I don't know
Could you
what
remove
we're
You're
going
not.
to do.
You're not.
Don't know what we can do to stop it.
You are
have
not
to
being
remove
filmed.
it.
Do you understand?
What?
You are not being filmed.
I hope so.
Do you want to come take a look? Do you want to come take a look?
No, it's alright.
He believes you.
See how it's vertical?
I
As soon as
think
he said it, I moved.
If
there's someone
you're
wrote a paper,
bullshitting, you're gonna
is
be going
Italian
over that
chap,
fence.
can't remember
I'm
his
not
name.
going anywhere, pal. I've
Italian
moved my
chap.
hand as much as I'm going to fucking move
Anyway,
it, yeah?
do you know
Do you
Roger
want to come take a look and see if you're in it? Because
Roger
she is
Hallam,
in my shot and you are
the
not.
head of
She is in my shot and you are not. End up.
So anyway, he cites this thesis.
No, you're not going to find out shit. I
You
moved
only
it when
need
you asked.
3% of the population.
That was
to
like
start
2 minutes
some
ago,
sort of
bro.
revolution.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And I don't know if there
vertical.
are enough
Do you
people that are
understand?
awake talking about it,
It's
because
vertical.
if we don't have the conversation, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
So sitting there idly saying, oh, there's nothing we can do about it, I don't feel like it's enough.
No, I don't think it's enough either, but
So
I don't know what
there is
the answer is.
so the first question is, what do we think we can do about it? Well, that's a very good question. Everyone always likes to start with that. And I don't know, but I think we need to be talking about it at least.
Yeah. It's a start.
Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, right, my MP is West Streeting. He's up for anything that anyone was lockdowns, he's happy with that.
Yeah.
Make them longer.
Yeah.
Close the NHS, yeah, that's good. Especially, you know, as he's
Closing off
sort
all
of a
your
bit
roads,
lost.
closing off
Yeah,
all your
well,
roads.
actually, they did do that in Redbridge. They put things, and people complained, and they took them away probably within about a week. They put these great big flower things. So I think I do think he doesn't want to be voted out. So that would appeal to him as a person. I don't know about other. But I mean,
I think these people, they live beyond their means and they're very comfortable in the like, resources that the state makes available to them. And as a result of that, they sort of feel like slightly, well not slightly, I would argue quite somewhat elevated above the rest of us.
yeah, and I think that sort of person also chooses to go into that. I think it's probably a vicious circle, isn't it? Probably choosing that because they want to kind of impose their will or be great or some variation of the theme. Yeah. I mean, I joined the Labour Party when Corbyn became leader of it.
Was he a bit of hope for you?
Yeah,
And how
it was
do
a
you
bit
feel
of
now?
hope for me. Hopeless. Yeah.
Do you not think we're past this red and blue?
No, it's not about red and blue. I don't think he was. Well, this one we've got is Tory light anyway. West Streeting, for example, who stabbed Corbyn in the back. I think he was genuinely. I think Blair took us to a place
But
where.
there's no turning back.
Yeah, well, he went with Thatcher and ran with it, and he could at that point have turned it round and said, well, what's been achieved here? I think you could just undo that. Like, I work in education and mental health, and in both those areas, Thatcher fucked it all up. So he could have undone that, and I think Corbyn was going to undo it. He was going to, for instance, make teachers have the ability to teach children according to their needs, according to, rather than a curriculum.
Right.
That was a huge thing.
I'm massively in favour of something like that.
Yeah.
That one size fits all approach just doesn't work.
No.
I'm neurodivergent myself. So
How old are you?
I was going to sound 24 then.
How old are you?
30 odd.
Right, so when I was growing up, teachers were allowed to teach using their judgment. They'd get an interesting book, or they'd have maths. They would stay on the same thing. If the kids didn't understand, they stay with the same thing, division until the children had all got it, or some of them had got it. And now you can't do that as a teacher. You have to move on. There's a scheme of work, and you move on. And that's what Thatcher wanted. She wanted like a work fodder. Well, Blair could have undone that. But he didn't. He ran with it and increased it and league tables and everything else. So now what we've got is going most of the kids, it goes over their heads. And then I see children even in reception that are falling behind. It's madness. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think there's any sort of political solution. I think these people are too embedded in the establishment. The people, whether they're left or right, green, fucking purple, excuse me. Most of them are purple, if you know, you know. But sorry, I'm digressing. The point is, we need to drain the swamp as the
thing is, this sort of thing is relevant to education, because if children are taught
100%.
to think about things, then they will,
spread out of them though. That's why they want them 6 hours a day, 5 days a week until they're 16.
Yeah.
And they're willing to fine you and sue you if you're not compliant with their indoctrination program.
Yeah.
And then send you to prison if you're not non-compliant with keeping up with that.
Yeah.
So the whole banner there is a bit of a pretense, a bit of false pretenses, that is, because realistically we're already knackered, aren't we?
Well, I do feel a little bit like that.
I know. But the digital part, there, no.
Attitude doesn't
there is a digital part.
Anywhere.
There's a digital part coming soon, and that is we are still relevant. We are still relevant.
Yeah,
thank you for that massive boost.
No, it's fine. We can go like be subsistence farmers and get some chickens and shit. We can still go do that. That's my plan. Little house on the prairie.
Yeah, a lot of people
go be
do
that. Yeah.
You
get some other people interested with some money, you know.
We have a commune, boys, but we ain't the communists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But everybody's not going to do it, are they? I'm going to go and live in the woods, but everybody's not going to do that.
There is going to be a separate society that choose to live separately from all this stuff, and they are going to be outcast, and they are going to be villainised and persecuted for being outside of the slave system, city, complex, 15-minute gritty.
Yeah, have you heard about the 15-minute cities?
Oh, absolutely, yeah, totally. Yeah, no, I think it's just terrible. It's dystopian, and it's right. And most people I speak to, like just friends, they're not remotely interested. They're quite happy. I mean, as much as I love Netflix and everything, they've got us entertained to death, haven't they? Yeah, totally sidetracked. People, and then the media, that's the other thing, sorry I'm going on a rant now, but that's the other part to play, because I pay what we all pay for our TV licence, or you may not, but you know, I still pay for it, and yet why am I paying for propaganda?
You need to stop paying your council tax.
No, I think I need to write,
But you don't have to watch BBC.
I don't. Well, I watch the comedies. It's what I'm saying.
As long as I'm all right in Christ and everything's above board, and we're flipping tables and money changers.
This stuff, then injuries. They're just starting to talk about the consequences of the lockdowns and stuff. Just about to talk to it. 3 years too late, and then tentatively, you know, they're just starting to talk about gender ideology and children being mutilated and stuff. That's not good enough. That's what we pay them for an unbiased.
You said it's sidetracking people. It can only sidetrack people if they watch it.
Well, they are watching it. But the point is, if they were doing their job,
it can only have power if you watch it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Once you tune out, it has no power.
Yeah, but people are not tuning out.
But you said you watched Netflix.
Well, no, I put a video out this morning and they
the
other side's gone now.
I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I work hard all week and then I watch a movie. But I'm saying I'm okay with all this. I think some people, have you followed Mateus Desmet and the whole...
And then they said it's brilliant and all this and that.
What's it called, these books? These books about authoritarianism. The idea is
I think I'll be safe, do you know what I mean?
And basically about how there's certain percentage of the population that are always succumb, and there's one in the middle that are kind of free-flowing. So he was talking about regimes like Stalin's and Nazi Germany and stuff in particular, but obviously then... So I would say I'm in the ones that would think. But I was educated under a system where I was allowed to think.
Encouraged.
Encouraged to, yeah, definitely. You can watch Netflix
weird, man.
and still...
I was only responding to what she said, that Netflix and stuff like that is
I think they're
complete
No, but they won't sidetrack everybody.
You either watch it or you don't.
No, you can watch it and not get sidetracked. To give us, I'm paying them to give us unbiased information.
I don't watch that stuff.
During the
I don't watch that stuff.
No, but it's what I'm saying.
Why don't you watch that?
It's what I'm saying.
She's claiming that if I'm tired and
I'm not talking about Netflix.
You talk.
Right. Well, I am, because you're missing the point that I'm saying. Most of us pay for the BBC to give us unbiased news. So when we had Brexit, we had pro-Brexiteers, we had anti-Brexiteers. When we had COVID, we didn't have any anti-COVID. Nobody at any point said...
Censorship.
Why don't... Oh, hang on. I mean, me and my family were saying, well, hang on, if you close down the economy, you close down the hospitals, that's going to be a disaster. They didn't have one single... Because they wouldn't allow one single... Why am I paying my £15 a month to not have
they
the
should
thing
have
that
had
they
debates
tell us
on the BBC.
They should have had
Open
everybody,
debates
Hennessy and everybody else. Absolutely. Querying it, unbiased, which is what we pay for. This wasn't the Second World War. This wasn't... Sorry? No, well, that was... Well, there was...
You've got to stop paying
there was a semblance. Even during Brexit, they did have pro and anti-Brexit talks.
Right.
I mean, I think this really brought it home.
They censored everything.
Yeah.
It's all happening here.
And now they're just having little snippets of it, like they're trying to make out that it never happened. They weren't.
There used to be a guy who laid down.
The highest maximum countries have the highest excess deaths.
Couldn't get much more laid back. Good on.
You're not allowed to talk about Andrew Bridgen and still kicked out of the Conservative Party. And the only ones that were actually, when we were doing that last lockdown bill, the only ones who spoke out against it were a few backbenchers, a few Tory backbenchers.
And the DUP actually. I almost voted for them.
Yeah, I know.
Against the
females.
Is that because they've got the sort of freedom as one of their ideologies?
Yeah. It's all,
So it's the irony is the Tories are more our friends than Labour. Sorry.
Interesting BBC. Because anyone can make any type of point by choosing the media outlet they choose. CNN talk about Fox 12, and so on. I'm not interested in that. In the modern day, we have more access to information than ever before. The only people...
Sorry.
Well, yeah, fine. Or willful. I don't know why people take away the responsibility from the people. Well, let me just finish. People, you hear it all the time in discussions like this, you hate the media. But because at the end of the day, some people do and some people don't. Why doesn't anyone talk about people's decisions to tune into the
Can I just say one thing about decision making? Said that what you write on a child's subconscious mind stays with them forever. And also Bertrand Russell wrote that you cannot indoctrinate a person fully once they get to 9-10 years old. Human behavioural science fused into it from the get-go. So if our babies are being brainwashed and socialised in the education system on top of that, the free will aspect is being taken away from us by the mass media and the government who are in charge of the curriculum and how teachers behave. So you might be a particularly excellent individual at standing up for yourself mentally or something. I might be, but it's kind of, I find it, when I study propaganda, I find it so difficult to not have empathy for everybody because we're in a technological terror dome that's attacking us 24/7 with psych warfare through the television and through socialising and education. So I think people need to talk about that more, to be honest.
Do you not think there's censorship during COVID?
Well said, Johnny.
There's a lot of questions there. I mean, do I get to? Do you want to go?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'll go. Let me eat.
They censored. They told everybody, if you get this vaccine, you won't catch it, you won't pass it on. That was censored at the time. It since became truth. And now everybody knows it's a truth, but it was censored at the time. So that was correct information at the time. It was censored from everybody. You're shaking your head. Is that not true?
Because like I said earlier, you can make any point talking about one media outlet or even a group of media outlet.
But if it's censored, how can you have two outlets if one's censored and the other's not?
Okay, you can make any point you want to make about the media by looking at one media outlet or a group of media outlets. When I talk about the media, I'm talking about the vast expanse of available information. That is the media. Now, you had access to that information, didn't you? Why do you suddenly say that?
Not on the BBC.
See, that's my point. You can make any point you want by looking at one particular media outlet.
So what are you doing, just blaming people?
100%.
Well, what would you do about that then?
Do you know why? Because any ideology that takes away the free will of the people tend to be totalitarian in itself. That's what these guys are doing. We're in a terror zone. Free will no longer applies. Think about all the ideologies that have come before and tried to take free will away from the individual. They're all the ones that we're trying to avoid. And here we are, people who have become the thing they hate. You should never take away free will from people. Because some people turn out like this, some people turn out like that. That's the fact. There's no brainwashing involved. Sorry.
There's no brainwashing involved.
That's mental.
That is mental.
That's mental.
That is proper mental.
That's mental. We're talking about the children.
Everybody's been brainwashed, including me. Everybody's been attacked.
No. Let's go back to the children and where we're at.
Everybody got attacked. We all think something that isn't true.
No.
Did you answer what I asked you?
Sorry.
About Bertrand Russell, Walt Disney,
yeah, you're right.
subliminal messaging.
I addressed him. Let me just
being babies in front of the screens, toddlers with no defense.
Just on that, whenever people say everyone's brainwashed, again, this doesn't make any sense. Because if everyone's brainwashed, then no one's brainwashed.
That's where you need to look
this
at
is universalist fallacy. It can't be everything and anything.
No, there are degrees. There are degrees of understanding.
What are we doing about the degrees? Why are you to a less degree brainwashed than these other
guys?
Because I studied propaganda to decondition myself. I studied the subject, and that helps a lot when you study subjects. You know more about.
They think you're brainwashed.
Of course they do.
Yeah. So it's a relative claim. You think they're brainwashed. They think you're brainwashed.
I know they do. I know
so what do you want me to do about that?
I
didn't say I want you to do anything. I said I want you to acknowledge that.
That's what they say, man.
Just because they say it doesn't make it true.
They don't seem to realise that the same things are being said about them. They're trying to take away.
Realise that we go around the public talking to them all the time. We know what they say. We know what they come out with, and we go to them because we believe in humanity and we try and talk to them and plant some seeds of truth with them and see what happens.
They're not into debate.
Amen.
No, they're scared of debate.
Yeah, they can't
handle it. You can tell a propagandized person because they refuse to debate.
Yeah, they're so chilled out. Again, they're sort of chilled out.
But I hear all the time in this park, some religious people or X or Y or Z, people don't like to address the
culture plays a big part in the UK.
Personal responsibility.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying we don't have personal responsibility either. It's just,
but there's degrees.
So you're arguing that, hang on, but you're arguing, hang on. Let me understand the question. You're arguing propaganda ain't a thing.
I did hear that before.
You did say that?
He did say that.
You said propaganda's not a thing.
Brainwashing isn't a thing.
Brainwashing's not a thing. He did that?
I think so. Right. It's not as
right.
It doesn't protect them as
just as long as I know what you're saying.
I don't know that. Actually, I know, but actually here wasn't.
Are there many people watching these places?
But 7.
Even the Republic of Ireland, I'm from Northern
Okay, to that question. Now you said you studied propaganda, and so have I. It seems to me that the best case studies of propaganda are in totalitarian societies where they control the flow of information. Now, I agree, to some extent there's a control of information in these societies. It's not 100% open. The government makes certain decisions what sits and what isn't and so on and so forth. When you look at actual totalitarian societies where there's a genuine threat of arrest, torture, or even murder for saying the wrong things, what we learn from that propaganda is that the reason propaganda actually has propagandic impact because there is no alternative. North Korea, there's only one. Well, let me just finish one and then you can respond. In North Korea, I don't even know what's happening in North Korea to a grand extent. I don't think anyone does, right? They have it on such a restrictive flow of information that their propaganda works. You see a lot in other countries. I've been to South Korea. The South Korean propaganda is very strong. You know, because they won't tolerate a pro-North Korean perspective. They're quite same as Israel. They won't tolerate a certain inherent censorship in the body politic. Now, in a situation like that,
you're arguing
let me just finish. I'm trying to get to your argument.
I know confusing me. Yeah, but you're talking in riddles.
There's no riddle here.
But you're saying that propaganda's not the thing.
Listen, there's going to be a riddle if you don't finish.
Go on.
I don't know.
In this country, in countries like the United States, you can get any information you want. All about the opposite opinion about COVID. You might not get in the BBC, like she said. You're right. Like I said, from any point. So what about particular media outlet? So the point I'm trying to make then, whether you choose to or not, propaganda ceases to have the power that it would in another country. Because you don't have to. You can choose that. You can choose that. You can choose that. Your existence here is proof of that. So, in other words, I don't believe propaganda is in this type of.
What did you say about this type of society? I didn't catch it.
Oh God, I'm not doing that.
No, the last 3 words I didn't. We can't have propaganda in this type of society. Is that what you said?
Because there's too much. saying is we've got the most, whether it be, even though it's not on BBC, we can still get on Telegram and the rest of it, we can get our drippings from everywhere. 100%, right? So I'm right. But that means propaganda's not a thing. Or no, it doesn't. It means it's not the same severity as in, say, South Korea, is what you're saying. But there is an argument. In your answer, there is still degrees of how effective propaganda is, thus making propaganda a thing. Alright, well there you go then, you said it works.
We'll differ on that. I'll give you a good example.
They take your child for 6 hours, 5 days a week.
But for your group to be correct, everyone would have to turn out the same, which they
It's programming. It's programming young vulnerable minds. I explained that to you before through the eyes of Walt Disney and Bertrand Russell, who are experts at this.
Right, he literally said it.
Before, these are vulnerable young minds. They don't have the safeguards that you are in, and they take shit on board, especially if they're told.
If you had one, you'd know. That's the key as well. That's key as well.
That's silly.
No, it's like the Netflix thing. I mean, yeah, not all parents agree about the indoctrination situation, but I would argue they've already been through the system.
You wouldn't necessarily know.
And raised by the television and the school way too much, and their influence is outweighing that single parent. And the family is attacked, but that's one of the reasons why they attack the family. Situation.
You seem to be arguing for some non-achievable ideal where children are not influenced by the things around them.
No,
I'm sorry.
No, we don't want them influenced by nonsense. But you're trying to say it's extreme. You're trying to say it's too much to ask that my child is not around some nonce that wants to indoctrinate him into some queer ideology or some climate conspiracy. Talking about the indoctrination of children.
Okay, earlier you made a good point. You said degrees. In North Korea is a higher degree, here's a lower degree. Right. I think that's where the debate lies. To what degree do I believe?
No, it don't.
Sorry, I looked away, I didn't hear.
I finished that. I removed myself from that afterwards. As soon as you said.
One thing you do get from people these days, everyone's got a short attention span. Can't remember anything.
Yeah, that's the dope.
I've got a brain disease, so you've got to let me know.
Example of, I think what we're talking about, but I wouldn't call it propaganda. Right?
Yeah.
So now, young people were almost entirely. A good majority, a strong majority, the majority, like rap music. Okay? They like rap music. Black, white, working class, the middle class, they like rap music. Rap music is very... Rap music is more popular than it was 10 years ago. It's more popular than it was 20 years ago.
Yeah.
See? Short attention span.
Yeah, but no, but the point.
What's the point? Do you think I'm not getting to the point? It's a very boring argument.
What's that argument?
I can stay. We don't get to the point. I mean, this is the Twitter generation. They need that.
No, it's okay. Please finish. Finish what you're saying.
Thank you.
And then I'll ask you. No, it's okay. Just finish.
Because you'll have your time.
You did have some elaborate points.
Why not?
You can go directly there.
No, an elaborate point's okay. An elaborate point's okay.
I bet you that it's not worth.
I really want to say this.
Go on then, I'm listening now. Finish it.
And I'm going to take my time.
Alright, please finish.
So rap music is more popular than 30 years ago. Now,
social engineering is not a thing.
If you're into...
Propaganda's not a thing. Sorry, I can't remember myself.
I know, I remember...
I'm sorry, I'm autistic.
Now you see a lot of people with... They have similar taste in film, they have similar taste in fashion. A lot of people have very similar tastes. We know that there's people that ain't into that. They have their own taste in music. They have their own taste in a self-developed taste in whatever it may be. Now, what I think you guys are talking about is the latter. The fact that most people just go with the trend. And that's something that happens so much in this society. Following people. You don't have to though. This is where my point lies. You have a choice in this society. Yes. It's free will and it underlies anything.
There's a choice.
Now, if you're just an unfortunate copy of the next famous person or the next XY I can't help you. I'm not going to blame it on propaganda. I'm going to blame it on you. It's both. It's straight up.
Both. You're very black and white. But anyway. Anyway, you were going to say, mate.
That's a silly thing to say.
Are you not autistic?
Do I seem autistic?
You seem clever.
I'm with you, yes. I'm autistic in that case. But you see what I'm saying? I mean, why do you insert, or why do you remove, I should say, free will?
Okay, can I...
What's your argument for... Let me put it straight to you. What's your argument for removing free will?
I have something to say to you that I think is going to be interesting for what you just said, right? About black culture, yeah? Well, but culture that is poured on black people. No. Why did you look like that?
Not even there.
Why did you look like that?
It's important.
You brought up rap music.
Yes, but it's not their culture. They've been sold that.
Can I? I've heard about that before.
Minstrels.
Yeah. And they had the same stereotypes. Say a sapphire was the black woman who goes and then you had the dandy who was kind of guy, right? And these stereotypes have been littered throughout the media, and they've been used to attack the black community right the way through to now. Now, I don't see those black actors as sellouts. I see them as lifetime actors who haven't sold out black people. I think they're to the manner born. A lot of them have been raised on military bases, and they industrial complex. Now this is because the links between the military industrial complex and Hollywood are so tight precisely because Hollywood is a psychological warfare operation upon the population at large. Californication, everybody's been there, and I don't mean no vacation. You know, the Red Hot Chili
People are like, I watch Netflix, but it's killing people. It's sidetracking. Give me a break.
Mate, I've got the answer.
Netflix only has the money because you gave it to them.
I've got the answer to your question. Where does that fit into my conception, you said? Well, Aldous Huxley said the population is 20-60-20. You got 20 who are complete brainwashed slaves straight away, right off the bat, no problem. You got 20 who are non-suggestible and won't be told shit. And then you've got 60 in the middle that everybody's fighting for, right? Now that's what experts in this field have to say. I believe it. I believe it. It seems fairly accurate from what I see in my life. I don't say everybody's a mind-controlled slave victim. I say everybody is attacked. I say, no, did I fuck? You're not listening. You're not listening to me. You're not listening to me.
I said you basically say that. That's basically.
I said 20, 60, 20. So if everybody's attacked, 20 people can say fuck you. 20 people can say fuck you, and then the 60, we're fighting in that 60. Okay. And I'm not clearly a fighter in that for them. I'm not trying to preach to the converted like Jim here, and I'm just trying to get you to realise that we are under attack and that we do need to defend ourselves against it. And the first step is acknowledging that it's there, and in your rhetoric I don't hear you acknowledging that it's there.
No. And if it is there, it's a choice.
What do you mean it's not there?
If it is there.
No, what do you mean it's not there?
I said, I don't think it's there. Even if it is there.
It is there. It's there for you to see. Pornography, the movies, the TV shows.
You wouldn't be so confused if you let me finish.
No, because you don't say any relevant points. Any counterpoints.
I don't think it's there. Even if it is there, it only has power because people consume it. I have to keep coming back to this.
Why is everybody following?
Some people.
What percentage?
I told you some people don't.
Of course it matters.
You've just ignored what I told you about Huxley.
X percentage.
Let's say 60. It's a very big chunk of society.
I'm asking you about those who aren't. See, this is a very good argument. Good for them. What do you think they've done?
Who are these people?
They're subject to the same powers.
Who are these people?
We're going to have to go one at a time.
Jim, have you heard about Huxley's?
I don't care what
20% are suggestible.
Why don't you care?
Right off the bat. 60 are there to be fought for, and then 20 just can't be told shit. Right, that's what Huxley says. He says that, you know, there's that wobbly middle that can be fought for, and then there's 20 on either side that just can't be told shit because they're completely brainwashed and completely free. Yeah. And as I was trying to say to this guy, but he's saying that I'm just saying everybody's a victim, everybody's controlled, but I'm clearly not saying that at all. There's people like you and me who ain't having shit. We ain't having shit for 24/7 every day of our lives, and we can still get tricked a little bit here and there, we admit that, I'm sure. But you know, we're not going to be controlled that way, and we bother to do this, I presume. I'm not going to tell you what you're doing, but I bother to do this because I want to give some solace to the 20% of my group, and I want to try and reach out to the 60% and try and help them.
60% is a big number. That's a big
it's Huxley. It's 60% to go for according to Huxley. I mean, I'm not saying he's right about everything.
If we can get after 60%, we are nearly a majority. We're 50%.
Yeah, I mean, I think humanity's worth fighting for, and we should reach out to those 60% and give them an alternative to the mainstream corporate media propaganda. Sorry?
What's the percentage in North Korea?
Different program.
In North Korea? Well, you said before none of us know about North Korea, so you can't ask me. That's a trick question.
But the point
Your own words.
Is that Aldous Huxley's rule? I mean, what makes you think it's for the UK in 2023?
No, I was saying I'm not sure Huxley's completely right about that. You know, I said that. Oh God, it's hard to say. It's a very hard thing to do without.
It's hard to say. That's why I said
it's very hard to say. It's very hard to say.
But you see, the point is about the percentage. I would argue that the percentage of people open to being converted is higher in these countries than in any other part of the world. Why? Because we have one of the most open societies the world has ever known. That fundamentally underlines my whole perspective of this. You're right, there's always going to be X percentage who are hopeless. They'll go by the official line. That's what I'm trying to prove, not through propaganda, but through the simple fact that so many humans are just slaves to popularity, trend, and they want to fit in. That's a far better...
Why are they slaves?
That's a far... Well, you can talk about that, but I'm just going to finish by saying that's a far better and more likely way of looking at how anything happens in society ever. For you to come around and say, oh, it's a technological terror dome, which is a product of the modern world, it's an exclusivist perspective. I'm arguing for something far more universal and fundamental to humans. Which is what? You're hopeless, man.
No, which is what? What
that some people follow the trend hopelessly. Did you not hear the beginning part?
No, I don't understand.
Okay.
So what do you like? I don't know.
I think you're completely discounting how much of an impact the psychological warfare we are under is playing on the minds of the Western populace.
The Western populace, which has the highest proportion of people willing to be moved to a different position. What happened? You can't forget about that part. we're the most free, open society there is. Are we not? I mean, where is more?
Yeah, there's a lot more to go. Yeah, but we're losing it, mate. This is the whole point. We're being sidetracked into it, mate. That's the point. We're losing it.
That's your point, but what about my point?
Yeah, well, your point's relevant because you're attacking the wrong thing. Yeah, no.
Yeah, see?
Definitely not. Not on this.
That's it. No evidence.
Not on this. There's too much evidence, mate. There's too much evidence of what's
going on. So far.
What?
I haven't heard much so far. I mean,
the digital enslavement. I'm talking about the digital enslavement of humanity. I'm talking about how they want to commodify everything, every last bit of nature, and put it onto a blockchain, including you and all your family.
Digital slavery.
That's what it's about. That's what this is about. I don't know what you're doing here, what you're trying to spin, but I'm fucking talking about the digital enslavement of humanity.
Here's a point. I remember I came here in 2020, and I remember George was here, and I talked to one of the guys he was
during lockdown or before?
Yeah, no, it was when it just
started.
When it just got loosened up and people started to come back to the park. There was a guy, I remember, in Flew World Order.
Yeah, Aaron. He's there.
Yeah.
Flew to that.
There was another guy that came with him. He was a bit old. He was on a bike.
Let me tell you.
He was a bit old. He was on a bike. This other guy, and I said, "You don't have any evidence for your claims." His claims were, "The UK is going to get. They're going to basically keep us in our homes. They're going to bring back the lockdown. We're going to have to wear masks for the rest of our lives." He made a very specific claim. I remember. He said, Boris Johnson, he's going to put through legislation that makes sure you can't get into any public venue without a certificate of vaccination. None of that came true.
Never come true. Did you read the coronavirus Act?
Let me see.
Just because it's not being enforced, hang on, that's a silly argument.
And so he was wrong, right? So he was wrong. Now the thing is with conspiracy theorists, they make so many claims
the coronavirus
never
Act
become
is
true, and then they move on to other claims. They don't actually realise
as is the Patriots Act, which you can make a
so
great.
I just wonder, the claim he just made was that they're going to do this and they're going to do that. By what time?
I've got all the documentation here. Do you know what 2050 net zero is?
Yeah, I know about that.
Right. Do you know what the digital pound is? Do you know about the framework combining the infrastructure for a social credit system and a carbon footprint system all locked into your money?
Gotcha, yeah. Okay.
And the programmability.
When is that going to happen?
When's that going to? Well, by 2025 they're saying. You can read the report. No, it's a government report, my bro.
Are you going to be sitting here 2025 so I can come back and talk about it? Because it's not long, you know.
I know,
it's not long, bro.
I get that.
So you lot, the best thing about conspiracy theories, you have falsifiability. Right. Because you've given me the date. All right.
This is it's not me, bro. It's the fucking government.
Yeah, I know, but listen, I'm going to come back in 2025. You know?
Right. And you're going to come back with your phone in your hand saying, I've just had to spend my money on my fucking phone.
I was traveling.
Shake on camera.
Yeah, I'll show you on camera. I'll show you on camera. Right, this is absolute zero. This is right.
2025. Yeah. Right. I'm going to say what I'm going to do.
You're going to come back here and you're going to have your phone, and everything about your identity is going to be entwined with your money.
Okay, you hear that? You hear that? Hit phone.
Well, that's if. There's a caveat to that. There's a caveat to that. That you live in the area that they're choosing to run the pilot scheme.
Fascinating. So we're talking about pilot schemes.
Yeah. So maybe a bit longer than maybe 2027, maybe 2020. Yeah, but look, mate, there's how much effort is going into all
You
this.
shook before you said that caveat.
Right,
it's too late. It's on camera.
Right. Look, this is crown copyright. This is on command, by command of His Majesty.
Yeah.
This is all about the digital pound and
do you know what's funny about conspiracy theories? When the government says something that they don't like, they say they're lying. When the government says something that they do like or do want to happen, they say, oh, they're telling the truth on that.
How do I want this to happen? How do I want this to happen?
That don't make no sense.
I don't want this to happen.
You think it's going to happen though?
I think it's going to happen.
What about all the other targets they said they never met?
What do you mean?
Those?
What do you mean?
I forgot about those.
What do you mean?
We're going to lower immigration to X number. Never did it.
But this is something that's in their favour. This is something that's in their favour.
Okay,
that's the difference. That's a false equivalent.
And you think that's why it's going to happen?
That's mental. Disingenuous argument.
No, but it's not just. You don't know what the future holds. How can you?
I do, bro. I do. I must be prophetic or something.
Where's the crystal ball?
If you study social engineering engineering, you can predict the future.
But you keep saying study these things. I mean, I haven't heard any people you've studied.
Mate, can I tell you something, right?
Tell me who.
Tell me something.
Who have you studied in social engineering?
Let me tell you something. Edward Bernays, the father of... No. I said Edward Bernays, okay? Just listen. Don't interrupt me and complain about being interrupted.
You're right.
Edward Bernays wrote a book called Propaganda, right? You know that. Edward Bernays also said that when he was young, he was hired by a piano company, and what he wanted to do was get everybody to buy more pianos. What he didn't do was just tell everybody to buy pianos. What he did was he created an atmosphere where people wanted to buy pianos themselves. What he did was he put loads of articles in the newspapers and said, right, everybody, the new fashionable thing is to have a music room in your posh house. And so everybody thought, right, I'll have a posh music room. What am I going to fill the empty space with? Well, it's going to have to be the biggest instrument because that takes up lots of space. And everybody started buying fucking pianos among the rich people around New York. He created an atmosphere where people required what he was trying to sell. Now, in 2020, did you notice a certain atmosphere get created that whereby people then went and made a decision themselves to do something that was potentially incredibly self-destructive to them?
What's that?
Taking the vaccination.
In 2020, bro.
They're taking was there 28.6 million quid spent on an advertising campaign on the say so of Spy B and Sage trying to tell people to be more scared of the virus so that there would be more uptick on vaccinations?
Be a pawn.
I think so, yeah.
You think so? So what is that then?
So what was that then?
What is that then if it ain't everything we're talking about?
People made a choice and they were propagandized as well, which is what a nuanced opinion is, and that's what my opinion is.
Are you?
No.
I'm not vaccinated.
No.
That's bold. Right.
That's not what I was asking.
Yeah, we're going
I didn't ask you that. I didn't ask if you were jabbed.
But some people got vaccinated, some people didn't.
Fucking hell, I just said there was a choice. I said there was an atmosphere created and people made a choice. And that's how psych warfare works. The atmosphere is created.
Sorry, brother.
But some people are more susceptible to the programming.
You said it, brother.
Right, I haven't read this actually. I bought it and I've never read it.
No, because you're arguing free will. You're arguing free will. You're arguing free will means that there is no propaganda. That's what you're trying to say.
You just said some people are more susceptible than others.
Yes, that was the whole point. Bro, that one where you started.
I said that all along.
Yeah, I know.
I've been saying that from the beginning about Huxley.
I told you.
I've been saying it all along.
Disingenuous. I told you.
You've been misrepresenting me every time I say
yes.
Too many things.
You're not going mental with the gaslighter. He's got a pile of gas.
He said some people are more susceptible than others. I agree. That's my whole point earlier. Some people are idiots. Honestly, they're the worst.
I told you there were 20% who couldn't be helped. I told you that all right at the beginning.
You already said you don't know the percentage.
No, but I told you that I thought that was pretty clear at the beginning. I was saying 20-60-20 makes sense roughly to me. That was what I was saying. You could.
Okay, but can I
feel like I said it.
Okay, fine. I'll try to address what you just said about the mood that they brought in 2020, right?
Yeah.
Now, the point about Edward Bernays is well taken because it's true. PR, advertising, marketing, they're very sharp on how they sell things to people. There's no doubt about it. Now, they don't always succeed because many products have a huge advertising budget and they fail. That's the truth. But, don't get me wrong, many things are really successfully sold to people. And it's because of these very interesting ways that they appeal to people, and so on and so forth, right? But check this out. What makes you think that conspiracy theorists are into? You guys are the new market. I mean, I don't know if you noticed, but after COVID, there's a whole bunch of conspiracy theorists. That's another thing that whole thing has created.
Age of Aquarius, bro.
If you look at the advertising on YouTube, you watch certain people buy gold. There it goes to you guys. Look at all these.
Well, I'll see you in 2025. Right.
So, what makes you think that Edward Bernays' theory doesn't apply to you guys? What makes you think you're outside the bubble? Because you guys have so much money from getting a particular audience and selling to them. And not just selling products, right? One thing Noam Chomsky teaches us is that audiences are themselves a product to be sold to advertisers. Think about that.
Yeah, we know this.
Okay, so what makes you immune to that?
obviously there's a certain amount, but you have to use critical thinking and analysis and just go over everything like we were fine too.
The facts here for everybody, you know, he's worked hard, he's done his best. We just try our best to inform ourselves and study the correct sources. Like you said, you wanted to, like, if you read archivist hired by mass murderers to give an apologetic about their behaviour in the century, so you get that fucking job right or you fucking die. So he's about your sources, you can research what you should research, you can try your best, but there's still propaganda in white papers, there's still propaganda everywhere, and you've just got to practice discernment as best.
Different from all the other potential untapped markets.
Christ.
Say that again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. I've never seen anyone talk about Jesus Christ when high-grade cannabis into a split.
I know I'm a sinner. That's why he had to pay the price, bro.
You lost me on that one. You should have said Jesus. That don't look so good.
What do you mean? Because I smoked the ganja?
100%.
So he pointed out, he kind of...
I'm saying, yeah, but I need it a certain amount so I can get out of the house.
That's fair enough. Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, well there you go.
As long as you know it's bad.
I know it's bad, and I pray that one day that I will, like...
But I don't want to get personal.
Preventing the revolution is a question you asked on one stream, I remember.
It's not even funny. Got a laugh.
And they were testing
Yes, so much.
And I think that's the biggest harm of today's hedonistic society. She made a fair point. People have flocked into Netflix. This is the greatest time waster, and cannabis is one of them. One of those things that people just want to do to feel good and forget about life. And drink.
I also need it to edit as yeah, because I'm on the fucking meds.
But yeah, no, but I think everyone should be aware of basically just brainwashing themselves through entertainment and hedonism.
Brainwashing now. Be careful of brainwashing. Brilliant.
Jim, how much responsibility do you put on us to take control of our own minds?
I think that's 100% down to our own.
Exactly.
But he reckons that we don't. What was he saying? Sorry, no, he confused the life out of me. What was your point? Sorry.
Well, let me remember. If I get digressed for a second, there's no breadcrumbs home with my brain.
I don't believe so.
Right, so if we've got to take control of our own lives, we've got to take control of our own education, we've got to realise that takes hard work and reading for yourself.
Some people are just more led and it's easy.
We are under psychological attacks from the women. Those radio waves.
I think it's very much observable, just from the fact today, people are propagandised into this climate nonsense when there's no real scientific evidence. There's no real science behind
They're the countries that don't
just fearful
in the same hundreds and hundreds of bullets. Our country's not like...
Yeah, well I was speaking to Just Stop Oil and Just Stop Oil Commissar last week, and I was talking about 15-minute cities, and I just shouted at him for about 5 minutes, bless him. But he actually stood there and took it and debated with me, which was pretty cool. And I think you've met him before because he mate of mine who'd interviewed him before, and he was like, oh yeah, I think your mate interviewed me before. He just started running around me going, he's the leader, and he was just like...
I may have had him in at the Labour conference a couple of years ago.
Oh right, yeah, I mean he's literally got twigs for arms, so fucking small.
Yeah.
I'm going to be totalitarian is because there's citizens' assemblies.
They're fucking idiots. I've been shouting about the CE bill and the citizens' assemblies for years.
Please God, talk to me about the citizens' assemblies. This reminds me of communist Russia.
This bill, the CE bill, is 12 pages long. It talks about citizens' assemblies. I get to the point.
Remote control has one button. Fine.
Overarching, you get however many buds in there from the locality. They get to talk, they get to voice their opinions and their ideas. Even about these fucking things. It says they have to listen to what you say, but fundamentally, what they decide to do doesn't have to be in line with what you've suggested, obviously. But the only way I count is that when they propose ideas, they're legally contracted into reducing using the carbon.
He was making
So they're going to have to do it somehow. So that's, I find it very naive.
I mean, that's all he came out with, like, over and over again. Citizen assemblies. He tried to. He said that the cornerstone
is it'll be a hierarchical structure. Like it will be the same. It's just more bureaucrats. They're not going to be. They're not going to end up being normal people. They're just going to. They get to keep a couple, didn't they?
Still
Do you know how it goes? We've seen it in history.
But it's still
people like to ignore the history and then we end up.
I agree. It can always be improved.
shebang. And I had an argument with about 15-minute cities, and she just kept on spewing out shit like, well, I said to her, how many people die from car pollution? Right?
Right. Something
So
like
she's
that.
a scientist who's saying, I'm a scientist, I accept the scientist. I accept the science, she said.
When it's convenient.
Typical XR scientist, I accept the science.
The thing about that argument, argumentum ad vericundium.
Oh no, wrong one.
Is that what's, oh no, what is it? No, populum. No, the authority, yeah, you was right.
So it's
right. Argument to appeal to authority, yeah?
If you're going to go by the
this thing, like, they got the scientists and they dress them up, but the thing is, when you're a scientist, when you jump in something, it's very narrow. The subject you study is very, your field of view is very shallow depth field, like you can't see what else is going on outside. And this is the thing, they want to appeal to this authority, they want to stress people up, scientists, and they don't know, they argue that they're scientists and they're critical thinkers and they analyse data, but all they do is consume the propaganda the same way as the middle class twats, them self-hating whiteys.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's exactly what we were saying last week. Basically, it's I don't know. When you watch the video, you tell me what you think. I kind of lose my temper a bit. I don't keep my cool. I haven't made the second part yet. First part's out, second part's coming out soon. I'm halfway through it. And I kind of lose my temper with the scientist Panda because she keeps interrupting me all the time. And I've listened to her for like 10 minutes. And I know you've got to keep it cool to get your stuff across, but there came a point in the conversation where I just thought, you know what, she ain't listening.
You got me seriously stoned to do this, didn't you?
Yeah, and I'm just going to say what I've got to say because she's not going to listen to me. So I just started shouting it eventually because she knew it before times, you know what I mean? I was like, how do you create more greenery and less pollution when there's more cars? There's more
going further and having to go out
slow pollution gets in people's lungs more, if anything, and blah blah blah, but she wasn't having it. I've lost the chat, by the way, sorry chat, but it's not working.
What's it called though? It's like they say, it's a religion. Yes, they're involved. Their emotions are involved.
Becoming more aware of that.
Oh, and then the steward came over, and everything had calmed down, right? One of the XR commissars came over, and chatting to a nice lady, and she's saying, yeah, we should talk more about the weapons stuff with climate people because they don't know anything. And the steward comes over and she goes, is he bothering you? Is he bothering you? And we go, no, both of us. And she goes, oh, I hate climate deniers. Don't like climate deniers. And then, so I say, let's have a debate about 15-minute cities. She says yes. I take my camera out, she slaps my hand. I'm like, right, well, I'm definitely turning it on now. I put it up, and she smacks the camera out of my hand to the ground, and then I flip out.
I think I might have seen a bit of that. I think I may have seen a bit of that.
Sorry?
I think I've seen a bit of that. Have I seen a bit of that?
No, it's not out yet. It's not out yet.
Have I seen you well, I think I may have seen you shouting at someone then, a little bit.
Oh, right, well.
I think that's the one you're on about.
I keep losing my temper these days after about a year of doing this. I even swore at that guy there. He still doesn't fucking help.
I feel like once you've been doing it for a little while and it does feel like you're not really getting anywhere. But what, you never get, it's like you're going there knowing about the ratio, there's 60% in the middle, there's 20% already free, and there's 20% when you're going to these events, these people primarily they're going to be made up of them ones that you can't help. So that's the thing. You're better off coming here doing what you did with him, because that was brilliant, by the way. That was good stuff. That's the only thing. Going to their places, it's a non-stop. I've got a lash though.
Is this working? So, because it says still going live at the top. Yeah. Is it still? It says live. It says live.
Let me check. Let me check on my phone.
I hope it's still going live, everybody. Because like. So the chat has disappeared, but it
controlled up time.
seconds are ticking by top left, so
The
hopefully
screen in the cinema, then suddenly had the screen of the film, the television in your living room. Maybe even bedroom later on. Living room, give it some air. So what did that mean?
Yeah, that's right.
Before you had to pay for a single ticket to go to a single film. When it ended, you left. That was your screen. Once you had it in your living room,
I am still alive. Nice one.
so that already changed the way people listen. And I would argue,
I found out that I think why they want to Brexit
is because
don't get me wrong,
we are in the first stage of high speed internet. We don't know how to deal with it. We're becoming addicted to it. We're following the algorithm. Soon enough, unless another technology comes along, soon enough we'll learn how to deal with it. The same way we know how to deal with television. The same way we know how to deal with cinema. So it's a medium thing, man. To get around the media. People used to think radio was brainwashing. No one thinks that's
so then they use it from a different angle to say it's about sovereignty and nationalism, about migration.
Really quickly.
But many of these Brexiteers.
Chris, is that what Jim's written there? That's what it's all about. We're down at the front, the placard at the front, no, the placard at the front of the table, mate. That's exactly what we're on about. Brexit, pandemic, coronation, Ukraine, Tottenham versus Arsenal. That's it. Sidetracked.
Are you being sidetracked?
That's it. That's it.
So you're seeing it as a sidetrack, as a deflection away from what's really going on from the country.
Then you go to the first page Jim's got there now. The 10 points about the pandemic preparedness treaty. That's the real deal, man. That's the real deal.
But you're saying that it's...
And sidetracked, I pointed out.
What are they sidetracking from?
Eco Warrior, when Jim was filming, they goes, oh, the climate change is a lot more important than that. Really? You're just sidetracked on everything that goes around corporations. And I'll have any group, there's tree huggers, I'd have most convinced of it. If it was real, I'd be out there protesting. I do protect the planet. I do care about it. I do believe that the corporations are on the arse out and there's a rainforest in Brazil or a fucking estuary in Essex. 100%. Yeah. But don't get fucked sidetracked and believe it's all them, and it's all because of them that all our problems are going to be here in the future. No, the problem's still going to be here because the structural elite are still going to be running it and telling us to take vaccines and through bodies like the World Health Organisation or fucking, excuse my French, who else is it? United Nations, blah blah blah. That's it. 100%. Run over. Here's Janos here, here's the man, he's Janos, he's a critical thinker. Talk to this man, the old gentleman.
Hello mate, how's it going?
Are we heading for a good place? With our leaders? Have they got our best interests at heart?
It's just
you look like a wise man, Janos.
Yeah. What do you think?
Big story. There are big issues and there are core issues. Most of the things are big issues, but they are symptoms. The question is what causes the symptoms.
Yes, what's the underlying cause to the symptoms? Yeah. It's closest to real. Very well put.
So if you have too many fires to fight, find the arsonist and then the fires will stop.
Wise
old man, yeah.
We're starting the fires.
Yeah.
Or do we want to live starting the fires, mate? No, he goes to critical thinking through policy. He's saying that I like the way you know stuff.
Yeah. Do you lads know anything about citizens' assemblies?
Screen time. Reading something, it's like common purpose or stuff like this, where it's localised. Localised governing bodies, basically.
Yeah, it's getting it set up there.
And they'll say you're getting more control because it's localised issues you're dealing with on a council level or blah blah. But it isn't. It's just
people's assemblies. I was debating last week.
I've heard that. That's the road they go down. The leftism. Here's the man.
The cornerstone of democracy, he says. Piers. Piers. You're right, mate. I want me last week that the cornerstone of democracy and what's going to save us from the digital tyranny.
They should be fucking locked up. Is this live?
Yeah.
Can't swear on live. They don't have legal power. The councils choose to adopt them when they put people in there to say what the councils want, i.e. impose net zero.
Yeah. Right. Yeah, I mean that was the impression I got off the fella. He just kept saying over and over again, citizens' assemblies are going to be. I was describing what the 15-minute cities are, how inhumane they are, and all he could. The cornerstone of democracy, as if him and his mates couldn't possibly be influenced by a shadowy hanging book.
Hold on, mate. Right. Well, we've got a new leaflet out.
Let's have a look.
Stop net zero.
Stop net zero, indeed.
And we've got more of our pamphlet out.
Alright, I'll take one.
Yeah, take one of them.
Alright, cheers, mate.
Never better get there ready for.
What time are you on?
Very soon, I think.
Oh, Heiko's on. Heiko, alright, chat. I'm going to go have a look at Heiko.
Did you attend yesterday?
I like your.
That's Jim's. That's Jim. Was you there yesterday, Piers? At the,
yeah, I suppose.
Vaccine damage.
No, I wasn't in Scotland.
Oh, right.
I know this is the minority sometimes, you know. Jim, listen to me. What I'm saying to him, he's fed up. Oh, is he? He's contrary to a lot. When I talk to what the majority thinks, but that's not. I'm giving you a minute. Hold on.
I believe in everything I say.
You did say at the start, you said like propaganda weren't a thing enough, rather than you made a very bold statement. As easily.
I tried to prove it.
This is why I believe
I haven't converted you.
No, you were
But he's a good guy.
Yeah, I'm not fucking, I don't feel no way.
It's just a debate. I have no.
I'm here to talk about this, the fact that you agreed that there is a certain degree that people are being propagandised, and that's the point. We're talking about them. It's not an argument. Shalom.
How's it going? So, are we being sidetracked to serfdom?
Yes.
Hot seat.
Hot seat.
Jump in.
What do you do with the seat?
Sit in it.
And then what?
Oh my goodness, this chair is literally, you've got enough chair.
Go on.
Here's that stool. This is gonna put you on my arse. No, I need that. What are you doing, slingers?
This is broken.
That's broken too.
Yes.
How's that broken?
We're broken.
Why are we breaking all the chairs?
Bad luck.
This is. You've got another broken one there. Yeah, please, mate. That's all right. I'm going to come round and get it.
Have technical issues. That's
You weren't in a rush, was you?
technical issues.
I'm not in a rush now. I'm just enjoying the relaxing.
I'll show you. Yeah. Why is that?
Why? Because this one's about to break with me, isn't it, mate?
I'll be back. See you later.
All right, take care, brother.
Oh, I love that one. Go on then.
Right. This one's about to break, mate.
I'll work it, don't worry.
I'll take it away. You know better than I. Yeah. That's two of them we've broken in one day.
Alright, I've had a great time. Thank you very much. What's your question? Give me one question.
Serfdom. What do you think about it?
You know what? I don't really understand the society that they lived in at the time. What was serf? What was it like to be a serf?
Feudalism.
Yeah, I know that, but I'm saying I don't really understand it well. I mean, I guess I understand that they lived.
Debt bondage, born into debt.
Yeah.
Do you not know how that feels?
No idea. I've never lived in debt.
Never lived in debt? No. Everything cash?
Everything cash. Everything cash.
Right.
But I mean, yeah, look.
That's a nice position to find yourself in.
But the thing, I mean, I don't have a mortgage actually, but I mean, so many people have a mortgage. That is debt bondage. Like you're stuck to your home, you can't just move around because that's...
I would argue people are born into it when they're fed into a system that they didn't ask to be put into. But you're sent to school, and after school you've got to pay tax. Before school, every time you spend money they're taking taxes off you.
Here's my problem with that whole approach, that whole way of thinking, is that it kind of assumes that at some time we were free.
We've ever been free?
Yeah, like not humans, even animals. Like, you know, you've got the big macho animal that he's in charge, and he doesn't let the other ones have the women, and like, you know, he controls it. Or like, it depends which animal you're talking about, but in which situation. But
the alpha.
Yeah, well, exactly. But my point is the idea of freedom. It's an idea that's
it's not real.
It's not real. Yeah. So you know.
So what you're saying is my banner's shit, and what it really should read like is you've already been duped into serfdom. So that reads wrong. It should say you're already there. You're already a serf.
No, it should say that all animals, including humans, have never had freedom since the beginning of time. That's what it should say. A primate? Are you not a primate?
I'm a human.
Yeah, you're a human.
No, I don't believe that I evolved from a monkey, mate.
You are a monkey.
You believe that?
Of course. You are a monkey.
Way.
Of course you're a monkey. Okay, let me ask you a question. If you
think God created...
Let me ask you a question. Supposing you look at a lion, then you look at a tiger, right? And somebody says to you, you know what? Lion and tiger has a common ancestor. What would you say? Would you say, yeah, that kind of makes sense?
Tigra.
Like, it's just reasonable. It makes sense. Like, it makes sense. Let's just use that word. It makes sense.
Let me make sure I'm filming.
It is, don't worry. It is.
Yeah, but are you?
I'm watching.
Yeah, that's not what I was.
I don't really want to be filmed, but
you don't really want to be filmed?
Not really. I prefer. I like conversations off camera. But anyway, will you put it on? Are we filming now?
It's already filming.
Like, you know what? They had a common ancestor. I'm not saying forget about evidence, forget about logic. Just like think, yeah, that it's possible. It's like, yeah, it's
You're
reasonable.
talking about blind faith then?
No, reason.
Yeah, but you said to accept something without evidence.
I'm not, if I want to go science route, we can go there. But my point is, even before that, just purely from a, like, you know, it makes sense. It's not blind faith, that's reason. Reason is not blind faith. If I said to you, look, I've got a...
You make it reason. Because what you was describing was something that I don't...
It's not reason, it's not, you think...
It's not reasonable to...
It's not reasonable
to believe something without any evidence.
Well, something can look a certain way, and you might... I guess what you... I mean, like, scientifically, you'd have to, like, prove it, like, with something more solid. That's what I mean by not evidence. I don't mean that there's no evidence at all.
What you mean?
I mean...
Not scientific, you're talking about anecdotal.
Like cousins. Does a lion and a tiger, are they both cats?
People say, but I reckon it looks more like a bear. I reckon the tiger looks like a cat, and the lion looks more like a bear. And I'll say that with a straight face. Or not.
It's delayed here, isn't it?
Well, I guess that's conversation's over, man. I don't know what to tell you anymore. I guess
reason. We're talking about reason.
I don't know where to go from there.
Talking about accepting reason without any evidence.
I don't know where to go from there.
You was talking about anecdotal evidence.
You don't know what anecdotal evidence is. You don't know. You don't.
Tell me. Educate me quickly.
Anecdotal. Okay. Oh my gosh. Anecdotal evidence. You don't know what anecdotal is.
Please.
Anecdotal means that there was this one.
So that's my anecdotal evidence. I witnessed it being a certain way, but this goes to show you how evidence can be falsified. That's the argument.
I don't think
Do you not get it about falsifying evidence because of the evidence?
I guess that's my point. You need to learn how to use reason, learn science, because that would be really good.
Absolutely mental gaslighter. What's your name?
Nathan. Learn a bit of philosophy.
Nathaniel.
Look, how many times have you been?
Several dozen.
Several dozen. Have you had any interesting conversations with smart people?
Probably not.
Well, maybe you should do that. Just get your brain working, learn about evidence, learn about reason.
trying to ad hoc me off. I got. Did you see that? He tells me he believes in evolution and the rest of it. It's fucking rightio, Jack. Rightio.
I'm not going to define it. I say you.
You're the only one here.
I'm saying you can define it.
I'm asking you.
I'm answering you.
Just mentioned it.
And I'm answering you, but you're not listening.
I don't want to listen.
Well, there you go.
Well done, Aaron. That's to give him the excuse. Right. That was mental, boys, wasn't it?
He's getting my fucking word in, is that what?
He was.
Let's do the same as it.
Bullshit. What he is? What do you mean? No, he is. You didn't know that.
Did you not hear said hello to him?
You must have known from the very beginning he was one of them.
Yeah, of course. What did you think? And they tried to evolution me off. Fuck off. They're so sneaky. I've come in disguise as a white man.
Hey,
do you know what I mean?
You two know each other. George and Chris, your neighbours, pretty much. Yeah.
Interesting.
He's Maida Vale and you're at Notting Hill too. Yeah. You basically, you both slag off all the same people. So.
Oh, that's probably good.
I'm more paranoid than that. I'm like, don't tell people where I live.
Chris just gave a brilliant breakdown of the People's Assemblies.
Yeah.
I hope YouTube don't nick my street this time. Last time, the V word.
Oh yeah.
Because last time I did a stream down in Burgess Hill, YouTube nicked it. I couldn't get it to go private because it was like churning around for like 5 hours. I waited till 4 in the morning and then they nicked it. I made it private at 4 in the morning and then it was deleted by the next day. They know I've got too much game, obviously. You know.
They don't want you fucking getting out there, mate. Pretty concise arguments.
Exactly. You know, my health story as well. It's obviously just too powerful. You know. They must know about it somehow already without me telling it.
I don't know. You've told people, right now.
Yeah, I have told people.
You said about it on the fucking outro bit, innit? On the intro.
Yeah, I've talked about it a bit. I've talked about it in some videos as well.
You're going to dedicate a whole channel to it.
I am the director's cut. Yeah. The director's cut's going to be all about that shit.
So I reckon they know.
Yeah. I'm going to do another channel after that. That's only 20. I'm going to do about 20 videos and then leave it. Have a little like.
I think anything that you put your name to, you'll be fucked. I think you're guilty by association. You involve too many people that are fucking too representative.
I reckon
that's it, basically. You're just going to be like
on the radar.
You can't just start a new channel and just got free.
Not if you're going to keep your brand in. And not if you're going to be fucking 100% on the tax returns and that. Like, if you actually look at work and your business, because if that's where you're looking to go one day down the line, all that little shit, well, it's not going to.
Yeah, I'm going to do one about social engineering in the arts, like how the films and TV, films and TV used to socially engineer. I'm going to get that fucking bastard to watch it.
And then I'm going to talk to you at a podcast about it.
Yeah.
Getting the good vibrations or what? Yeah. Fucking hell.
Who lives in a state of fear?
That's definitely a good read. What one are you talking about? Both of them? Yeah, that's a good read.
I think I've seen you on YouTube.
Yeah. Possibly.
What percentage of people do you think are seeing what actually happened, or still people?
So mate, what do you think about all this then? Where do you think we're heading as a society?
I can't remember who he said it was, but someone reckons it's 20% that are awake. So there's 60% that are on the fence and they need to be shown some sort of evidence. And there's 20% who, no matter what evidence you show, will not sway from
Are you scared?
Yeah, well, if you, that's
are you living in a state of fear yourself?
Because I thought, right, I'll take that. What are you up to?
You're wearing a mask, so your behaviour is indicating that you're scared of being identified or breathing.
Right, I'm going to have to turn the stream off, boys, and charge up the fucking microphone if I want to do any work.
Sorry, say it again.
Because the microphones are dead. Take care, Josh. You going now, yeah? See you next time.
Well, I wouldn't call healing myself of my diseases miracles. It's just, you know, solid hard work and research and taking the right medicine and not taking drugs.
I'm going to charge these things up. I've got to take this off.